Yeah, we're down here, by the way, some of you people I know don't live in Iowa to watch this Facebook channel or YouTube channel. This is Oola, Iowa. It's a pretty small town, old railroad town. And we'll pan around here and show you some of the old structure. Like I say, it's a really old town, small town Iowa. You notice in the background, this is an old town. You can see by the architect how they built the buildings. They're pretty old. But just give you a little preview of Osceola. The farm's 3 miles south of here, and this is Sunday morning on Main Street. Pretty empty. So just give you a little preview where we're at. Like I said, those old buildings weathered a lot of storms. Hope you enjoyed this little part. Like I said, there's so much more than to hunting and videography today, as they call it, about some guy sitting in a tree videotaping some guy shooting something. This will enhance your knowledge somewhat of the geographical area down here in southern Iowa. I make my living up in Des Moines, Iowa, which is nothing but a human rat race, and bigger's better. And you get down here in southern Iowa, you can disconnect with all that BS. Yeah, one of the local taverns here. It's a big step back in history, but that ain't all bad either. Yeah, there's the Clark County State Bank. I know that bank would have been here when the James gang rode clear to Northfield to rob a bank. That's been a lot closer to their hometown, Missouri. Probably only be about 100 miles from Missouri. Why they would have rode clear to Northfield to rob a bank and get shots beyond me. Yeah, in a couple weeks, this whole town square will be filled up with a carnival all along this street, and that's that city hall and everything right there on the square. So this is where they'll set their 4th of July carnival up, and it's a pretty big deal. But old time Iowa. Yeah, this highway that we're on right now, this Highway 69, this used to be the main travel corridor from Missouri to Iowa. 65 is over a little bit, but this was the main highway. Hasn't changed any in my lifetime in 65 years. The interstate's about 2 miles to the west of this. Can you imagine all that traffic coming down this 2-lane highway right now, headed from Kansas City, Missouri to Des Moines, Iowa? Phew. Yeah, some changes are good. Unfortunately, some changes are bad. But this is old Highway 69. This intersection up here, you take this pave to your right, and that'll take you right over to Interstate 35. But thank God they changed it. This ground down in here, like I say, is quite hilly and highly erodible. So you really got to watch what you plant. A lot of the northern Iowa farmers come down and try to farm it, and they were pretty dismayed with their yields compared to the more fertile soil up north. Now you can see there's a lot of row crop here, and that's what I'm competing with on my farm, is the amount of some kind of the row crops that are around. That's why it's really important to grow something that your neighbors aren't growing. Regular agriculture crops are abundant around here, and so if you're going to attract deer to your property, you're going to have something with some drawing power, because you're in straight competition with your neighbors. Yeah, that timber in the background is my timber. That green field in the background, that's the bean field, and you have this large alfalfa livestock field, food field, hay operation going on right next to it. So with that much timber, you have to be pretty innovative, because that's where the animals are. But there's no lack of food out here. But that field's pretty green, and that's the field that we're going to spray today. That was our bean cornfield, and we're going to get after it here in a little bit. It rained a little bit, but I don't think it dampened the spirits. But just across the road here, I see the guy put corn in, so there's a huge, that's why I didn't go with too much corn this year, because there's a huge cornfield. There's probably 300 to 400 acre cornfield right there. But the deer will gravitate over to my property. And so you're in straight competition with your neighbors on the wildlife, because you don't own the wildlife. Remember that. It's the state's wildlife. And if you notice that fence there in the background, that's not a high fence. And so they're going to free roam wherever they want to go. And that's what's cool about it. And that's what I'm trying to get my point across, that you can keep a substantial amount of wildlife activity on your property, even though you're in strict competition with your neighbors. But it's a lot of hard work, but as you've seen in the videos, it works. Yeah, here's another important factor. When you're going to draw that kind of wildlife to your property, you're going to have a lot of people wanting to trespass and sneak in, and you've really got to make signage loud and clear. And whether it works or not, it'll keep the guy on the borderline from wanting to get caught. And because I do have it wired up, it's wired up directly to a security company, and that's not without cost. But like I say, I don't own the wildlife on this side of this gate or on this side of this gate. But on that side of the fence, I do own the ground. I do not own the wildlife. The DNR, the people of this great state of Iowa, own that wildlife. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But I do own the ground, so I can make it conducive to draw them there. And whether I harvest one or not is irrelevant. But at least I've made a change in their lives for the better. And that's all you can ask for as a true hunter, is to give back and try to help out, leave it better than you found it. It's not all about a hero picture on Facebook. Yeah, we had 3 inches of water since last Sunday down there. So it's been some raining. There's 3 inches in that rain gauge. And it's the end of June, so that's not too bad. But that's not uncommon in Iowa. You get the rain in June, you get the heat in July, and that's what makes the corn grow sky high. So let's get with it. There goes Deb going down and feed her fish. Need to mow the grass a little bit. There goes Sammy. The flowers are really doing good. Broadhead looks beautiful. That's, like I say, I just went with red impatiens this year. And each year you can change those up when you plant annuals. That rock there, hauled all the way from Waukee, Iowa, because of the coloration of it. But oh, it's up to the rock. So Deb says it's the pond's up to the rock. That's cool. That rock had such extraordinary color to it that it was worth the labor and the time to haul it down. And then when I planted those flowers up against it, it just really made a nice little garden. It's just a lot of work. So when you guys take that on, you're going to have a real good work ethic, because it's going to take all you can, especially when you're in the landscape business, trying to do that full time too in a record-setting year. Yeah, the pond's clear up to the rock. Everything, yeah. Well, it's not clear up to the rock, but, well, No, yeah, I guess it is. So that's how high we wanted it. But with 3 inches of rain, you can see, and over here, there's some turtles over there. Oh, they just went under. Yeah, lots and lots of rain. Now I got these dang weeds in here I'll have to cut out. They finally got...
They'll die.
Got a lot of little fish in there. You notice this brown grass in here? This is from... You remember when we sprayed it with the Arrest? Well, that's the results of it. You notice it's all got that brown tint, and that's good. It killed it out. And it just takes time. And the reason that got in there is when I strawed this hill, that brought that seed in with it, with the straw. But, you know, it's sort of an Achilles heel. It wasn't here naturally, but when I strawed it, you got that oat seed comes in with it. But you can see that Arrest really did a job on it. That's about 2 weeks of Arrest application. So it's really took it out, and that way, you know, your stuff can grow. Now, here's a topic. I haven't sprayed this with the sleigh yet, and you can see these broadleaf weeds in here, and that's what the sleigh will take out. The Arrest won't take that out. It'll take the grasses out. So you can do 2 options. You can pull those out by hand, and which I'm probably going to do right now, but I can't do it with the camera. Anyhow, I guess I could. Yeah, they come out, well, they come out relatively easy, but you can walk around, pull them out. Just so many things to do. But I wanted to show you how that Arrest did the job, and I can see a few spots where apparently I didn't get it broadcasted on, because there are still some green grasses in there, but for the most part of it, it did the job. And like I said, just numerous hours of work goes on a property like this to enhance it. It just doesn't happen on its own. I still got this bald spot right here, and you think all the black dirt I would have corrected that, but this is the overland drainage easement for the pond, so it'll take a while for it to grow in. But the pond's up where we wanted it. You can see the rock in the background, so it could actually raise probably another 5 inches, but basically it's full again. But it took a long time to get full because we didn't have that kind of rain. Well, just giving you a little heads up. But like I say, you can see how that clover really growed in. I haven't mowed it yet. You can see it's starting to bloom. It's going to get really hot. I'm going to let it grow with this heat that's going to come in. And I don't want to mow it when it's that hot, because it's hard on it. But as soon as it cools off again, hopefully it'll get up and I can mow it. But you remember when we took this whole area from black dirt, and this is what we got. On the back side we got the alpha rack and the chicory, and it's really growed in really fine. The chicory is really thick down in there, and that chicory, for you people that don't know what that is, that's this crop right here that we're looking at, that wide leaf. And Whitetail Institute said that it's okay to spray that with your sleigh. They do it all the time and it won't kill it. I just haven't had time to get that second application on. But so just sharing our results with you, and what I'm doing this for is so that you can have a first hands on of what it looked like from the day we started until Father's Day. And so you can sort of judge your results right along with mine. And you know, you're going to have some bare spots, but it takes time. Now this area up here is really grown in really good, and it was marginable soil. And you can see the standard chicory really took off. It was that alpha rack, and the chicory really dominated it. That's what you're seeing in there. And that's a real good food. Now that's supposed to get 2 feet tall, so it's still got some growing to do. But just a little up to date. So just thought I'd share this information with you on Father's Day. A little town of Oola. That's laid back life down here at the cabin. I think people ought to be quite honest with you, ought to gravitate to this kind of lifestyle and get out of those stress-filled cubicles that they show up every day and start enjoying this life and Mother Nature for what it offers, other than trying to buy man-made satisfaction. Because to me it looks like this whole world's stressing out. Okay, you can see there are some undesirable weeds in here, and but the chicory, you can also see the chicory. That's a foot high. Now, like I said, this spring when I planted this, alfalfa may take a couple years, especially on a hillside, to really get a good established going. If I have to come in the fall and overseed this, or and let it get going again, but first you had to get some ground cover on it. Now, for the most part, I'm really satisfied with it, knowing what it was. You look across there, there's a lot of chicory. Don't take too long to hand pull some of these broadleaf weeds out. That probably didn't take me 10 minutes to pull these weeds out. But you can pull them out, or you can see how it browned down on the grasses. Now I'm going to leave that grass stuff in there for erosion control, because it is awful steep down here. The main thing is we got the leak stopped in the pond. There's no seepage coming to the surface down here, and that was our main objective. We've got that leak shut off, and I'm really happy with the results. Now, yeah, there's, like I say, all that brown stuff you see was the straw that I brought in, and what it did, it brought, that's oats, and it brought its seed with it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this is not a very good specimen. I'll show you one better up here. We'll go up here. So you can get out. Don't take you too long to pull them weeds out, because there's not that many in there. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's your broadleaf weed, and if you notice the seed on that, that was from the oats that you brought in, the oat straw. Now they brought that in when I covered that up to fight the erosion. If I hadn't have done that, I could have had more erosion. I would have definitely had less oat seed in here, but that's not a bad thing for the first year, because I can cut that out of there. I don't want it really like in an area here. I can pull that out really easy. And now Deb pans down here, you can see how high the chicory is. It's taller than Sammy is. But if you want to go ahead and pull those weeds out right now, or that oat seed, basically is what it is, wild oats, you can get it pulled out. That way it won't go to seed, because this area here is growed in pretty good. I don't need the erosion control here anymore. So I'll just go and pull them out. But you can see the seeds already there, and they will rejuvenate themselves and keep seeding this over and over unless I get rid of them. But it's one thing or the other. But I'm trying to show you what your results would, and you can tell this is pretty steep bank. So when you're on a steep bank like that, that's why we went with the Alpha Rack Plus, to get the deep-rooted perennial going, because you don't want erosion. And you've seen that we got the leak stopped down at, well, that was our main goal. So don't get in a hurry. Lots and lots of tonnage of chicory growing in there. But you will have some weeds, and like I said, I sort of self-induced it myself with that, bringing that straw in but it was just, you know, it was going to erode just that much more unless I'd put that straw on there for erosion control. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, that'll die out and go away. The chicory will grow up, and I can mow this, but I'm not going to mow it right now because I'm still going to let it keep growing. But it don't take long. You've seen how fast it took to pull out those weeds. But other than that, it looked pretty good. So if you guys are going to do that on a pond or a sloped area, you can sort of see the results. And we didn't have that much rain until just recently, so this stuff was a little behind, I feel, on the moisture content. But well, that's the alpha rack on the pond. Pond sealed up to the top. I couldn't ask for any better. And like right in here, here's a good example. I'm going to leave this grasses in here, because if I pull them out, that's just going to be bare soil, susceptible to erosion. At least right now, that's going to slow it down. And I can always come in the fall and oversee. But it does take time. And like I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, this has nothing to do with killing anything. I enhanced the overall wildlife. I gave them a new food supply at my labor cost and my monetary cost, and it's worth every damn penny. And being able to share this experience with you people is priceless also. I'm not sharing Don Mealey. I'm not even going there like I'm some college-educated expert, because most of those guys that talk that talk are only talking theory. I'm the real deal. I'll put them to shame every day. Zoom in on that head. Got the head?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your imagination's your limitation, as I've always said. I found this rock up in Ankeny, Iowa, which is 60-some miles away from here. And it looked like a serpent's head. It looked like a snake's eye and its head. So when I came down to this flower bed, as Deb will move over here, I found it in patience and made it the shape of a serpent or a snake crawling up from the pond. And if she move over here, you can see it a whole lot better, the dimensions of it, how it's wiggling down through there. And I hope it looks like a snake to you people, but this here's got to go. Always doing something. That's a tree root. But I haven't had time to trim my garden. But anyhow, as you see, it's slithering up from the pond. And like I said, I hope that looks like a serpent to you people. That's what it's supposed to be. A little bit of imagination goes a long way. So just something you can do. It really makes your place look a lot better. I need to get mowed. I haven't mowed for a week now, but you know, things just happen. Maybe you can tell it looks more like a snake's head now. Put a cap on him. I thought that come out pretty neat. Pretty neat. And you people can do all this too. It sure doesn't take an Einstein. It's just your imagination. You know, even snakes gotta eat. As Clint Eastwood said, vultures you gotta eat too. Oh, that's probably what gave him all that nutrition to grow that big. And it's critter control. You see these antlers? These are what come off of those 3D targets, and it makes a pretty good perimeter because the squirrels won't eat them. I've left some real ones out there and the squirrels gnaw them up, so they don't eat plastic as of yet today. But that sort of made a little perimeter around that garden. And like I say, imagination, limitations. Our little garden's going pretty good. You notice that clover, I got so much whitetail clover around here that the deer probably think they died and went to heaven. But that's all about, and look at this clover field here right next to the cabin. I mean, it's pretty tremendous. And this is another one of our gardens. But that 3 inches of rain, everything come out really, really nice. I mean, it's a beautiful place to get away. But with saying that, it's a lot of work. Especially with my work schedule. It's almost, if you didn't have my personality, and I'm not bragging, I'm just fact, I can work 24 hours a day if I have to. And it seems like the older I've got, the more I put on my plate and the more hours in the field I have to work. But this is why I like to plant annuals, because I can always change the color and the scheme. A lot of people plant perennials. I understand that, saves them a lot of labor. I have a perennial in the middle there. But the rest are annuals. That way I can always add color, take it away, and change a different landscape every summer. So just showing you a little bit of southern Iowa hospitality. But those deer can eat right up to the cabin. Whitetail Institute clover. Oh, and like I say, Deb shows Sammy, show Sammy how tall that clover is. She's sitting in deer food. Yeah, the pond's full. And you notice on that south bank, that's the dam, and we restructured that this spring. And as you notice, the clover grows right down to the water line now. It's a nice gentle slope getting down there where before it was a sharp drop off. Now you can actually walk right down to the edge. But a lot of tonnage there for those deer. All that's in clover, whitetail clover. And so slope down, walk right down, and the leak stopped. Win-win situation.